Nets, cans, and bins. Welcome back to San Siren. I'm Xavier.
I'm Dylan. Welcome back to another episode. And today we have the second episode of the SuperCoach Series. And I'll ask it every week. Das, how are you today?
I'm good, thanks, Dylan. Looking forward to reviewing round one and getting into round two for this one.
So, how did you boys go in the first week of SuperCoach?
Xavier, you can start.
Yeah, not good. Not good at all. I think it was the worst week of Supercoach I've had for about 3 years. So I didn't even crack 1,900. So not good at all.
Yeah, tough week for sure. There was many prime players who didn't score over 100. And Das, did you find the same?
Yeah, I just managed to crack 1,900, but a few players let me down big time, and there's a lot to discuss this week, I reckon.
Yeah, there is. And what's the first thing you want to discuss?
The rucks. I brought it up last week, and I was told that it wouldn't matter too much, but seeing the first week, it does seem to matter. You got premiums like Gorn, Grundy, not scoring very well. The highest ruckman score was actually Matthew Flynn, who was a debutant. So I think Kiki was up there too, but all the big rucks weren't scoring too well. So I do think that could be an area of concern. Are you guys concerned about it at all?
Look, it's first week. We'll give him another chance. Grundy was the one I'm worried about. Gorn had 93, and we know that he will progressively become better throughout the year, but Grundy was just not as great around the ground as he usually is, and he was beaten by Steph Martin and Tim English, the duo from the Bulldogs. But yeah, Save, do you view it that way as well?
No, I'm a little bit different. I'm not really that worried because, as you said, Matthew Flynn scored 140, Tom Hickey got 123, Goldie 109, McInerney 109. There were 8 ruckmen with over 90 and 12 ruckmen with over 85. So I'm not totally worried. I think it was just a poor game for Grundy in particular, as well as Max Gorn. But Gorn finished with 93, which isn't even that bad, although it is for his price. But I think it'll be all right. If I'm definitely going to hold them this week. If it's not good next week, they'll get traded, but we'll have to see.
And it's actually funny how it was the ruckman in the lower quartile and the mid-price quartile who were the best scorers. As you said, Matthew Flynn, Tom Hickey, who I think is priced around the 300,000 range, Oscar McKinney, who's about the same, and Todd Goldstein is actually expensive, was the best performer with only 109. So Das, I think you were right for the first week, and we'll see how it fares in week two.
All right. And who are some of the big performers for you guys?
Dustin Martin for sure. He was easily the highest for me. I think second was Errol Goulden, which was great to see for such a cheap player to score so well.
Yeah, mine was Goulden, and I'd say for the rookies, or not rookies, but for the mid-price players, Hayden Young scored decent, and Rory Laird, Caleb Daniel cracked 100, only just, and Lloyd had 98, but the midfielders were the concern for me. Neil had 77, Steele had 73 at halftime and only finished with 91. So I think it's just an off week, and it happened to all be at the same time. Zas, how about yourself?
Yeah, some of the best performers were the rookies actually. They pretty much saved my round. It would have been a bit nasty otherwise, but I had Goulden, I had Rowe, I had Flynn. Flynn was on the bench though, but I've had a few solid rookies scores. Yeah, I had Lockie Neal on captain, so that was a bit unfortunate with that one. If I had it on Dusty or something like that, I would have definitely cracked the 2,000 mark. But yeah, obviously I had Dusty as well, but most of my premium players just didn't really pull through for me. So it was a bit of a letdown.
I was going to ask you too, what was your biggest mistake that you made this week? I assume yours is probably going to be putting the captain on Lockie Neal, Das. But what about for you, Dylan?
I think my biggest mistake was probably putting captain on Gorn, but it's not really a mistake. I mean, you expect big scores from these guns,
Yeah,
Gorn and
same
Neil.
with Neil.
I wouldn't classify it as a mistake. I think it's just some poor luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had two really bad mistakes that I made this week. I had Ollie Henry on field over James Rowe, which cost me 95 points. So that really hurt. I had two players on field that scored under 10, which is not good. Obviously, the other one being Matt Rowell, who only scored 6, and he is my other mistake, and only because I didn't have him all week. I was messaging everyone I could find, people on YouTube that ran SuperCoach accounts, podcasts. I was messaging Darcy. I was messaging another one of our friends, Bailey, and most people were telling me to do the Rowell trade, and I ended up doing it. So I traded out Bailey Campbell and Dyson Heppel in order to get the money to get Matt Rowell, and he scored 6. So if I didn't have those two mistakes, I probably would have cracked 2,000 as well.
I feel like once again with that one though, there is a big element of luck there. Rowell on paper should have been a good pick. But yeah, obviously very unlucky, and yeah, it looks like he'll be out for an extended period of time. So that's not good for the very many people that picked him. And all of our thoughts are with Rowell, and we hope him a really quick recovery, and we can see him back at the end of the year or even start of next year as strong as ever.
Definitely.
Yeah. He'll maintain his price, which is a positive, so you can bulk up to possibly Dusty Martin or just stay in that similar price range. But for me, Jack Zeeble was the standout. 257,000, 113 as the score against what should be a top 4 power side.
Yeah, I'm glad I picked Zeeble 113. I think Darcy missed out on him. I'm not totally sure, but I do think he missed out. So 113 from someone in that price range is incredible. If he can keep up even like an average score of 80, it's going to be really good from someone of his
Just
price.
quickly with Zeeble though, obviously great score and his stats are pretty good. But I, being a North fan, watched the game and I wasn't overly impressed with him. Yes, the scores translate, but he didn't pass the eye test for me, and he got torn apart by Robbie Gray, and he wasn't very good in defense. He obviously just racked up the disposals, but he didn't use it very well. So I feel like if you take into account the fact that he was poor in defense, he might not be back there for long. I know. I also found out after the last recording of our podcast that Zeeble was the one who defended Kaczynski when he scored 6 goals in that preseason match. Yeah. So I do feel like Zeeble's days in the defense is limited, and that could affect his scores because obviously when we saw him in the forward line the last couple of years, he just wasn't scoring very well. So yeah, I'm be concerned about how long he's going to last back there.
Yeah. I somewhat agree with you from the sense that he didn't really pass the eye test. There were definitely periods of the game where he got exposed, especially by Robbie Gray in the first quarter. He made him look like a little bit of a fool, but he used the ball incredibly well, going at 92% disposal efficiency. So that was really good. And I think he will stay in the back line because there's other defenders that play similar roles that don't really defend like a shutdown defender would. Just off the top of my head, people like Jake Lloyd don't really have a man. So I think they'll probably keep him in the back line, I think, but without putting him on the most dangerous forward like Robbie Gray. So
something that does help Zeeble's efficiency there, though, is I noticed North's tactic a lot of the time was just to bomb the ball long, and a kick is counted as an efficient disposal if it is kicked over 30 meters to a contest. So he wasn't actually hitting that many targets. He was just bombing along to the packs, which I guess it does count as an effective disposal, but I didn't feel like he actually hit many targets. Didn't play that well.
For me, a big plus was Hayden Young. He actually managed to defeat Luke Ryan in the scores. He had 88, Hayden Young, and I believe Luke Ryan had 85, and Young's 279,000, and he'll continue to make money for me, which is, I think it was a good selection. Jordan Clark as well, 80. And if they keep producing those consistent numbers, there will be certain upgrades within a few weeks.
Yeah, I know Bailey, again, he traded out Luke Ryan for Hayden Young, and then just before the game started, he traded that back. So he's probably regretting that one a little bit, considering the extra price tag he had to pay in order to keep Luke Ryan.
Yeah.
All right. I've got a few players for you guys. This is now we're looking forward to the next week, the next round. I've got a few players for you guys, and I want to see your opinions. So it's 3 options, and you give me one word, or you can give me a little explanation for some. But yeah, I'll start reading them out. So it's buy, sell, or hold. So firstly, we've got Darcy Moore.
Hold.
Hold.
And we've got Dangerfield.
Sell, depending on if he gets reported.
Yeah, sell depending on how many weeks he gets. I think if he gets 1, you probably hold him.
Yeah.
2 or 3, I'd probably be looking to get rid of him.
We've got Gorn.
Hold.
Hold for now.
We've got Matt Rao.
Sell.
Sell, definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I think
Paddy Dow.
out for about 14 weeks, so you can't afford to keep him.
Yeah. Paddy Dow.
Hold.
Yeah, I guess. Hold.
Yeah. Grundy.
Hold for now. Just because there's Rowell and Dangerfield. I think they're probably the main priorities to fix first.
Yeah, I think I somewhat agree with Dylan. If you have Rowell and Dangerfield, I think you'd probably hold due to having to trade both of those people out. But if you don't, or maybe if you've got one of them, then maybe look to get rid of him, but we'll see.
And we've got Lockie Neal.
Hold.
Hold.
Now I've got Jaden Stevenson.
Buy, if you can.
Yeah, buy if you can.
I do believe he is in the 350 range, so I feel like that is a good pick for me.
Yeah.
Luke Davies-Uniacke.
How much is he, you know?
Yeah, how much?
He's around low 4s.
Let me just...
I'd say...
40.
Ooh, that's tough. That's really tough. I'd probably say
He's
hold.
432k. If you have him, definitely keep him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I'd be actively seeking him out, but if you have him, keep him for sure.
We've got Brockman, Tyler Brockman.
Hold.
Hold.
Yeah.
We've got Buddy Franklin.
Hold.
Buy. I was considering actually getting him this week, but I'm gonna have too much money. If I get him in, I'm gonna have like 400k in my salary cap, so I'll probably get him in next week.
How much is Buddy, just out of interest?
He is 312k.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe an upgrade for Danaher. Possibly.
Maybe.
Danaher has Geelong, and they really don't have many defenders, lockdown defenders, that is. So he may kick a few.
Yeah. Now I've got Heppel.
Buy if you don't have him.
Yeah.
I think he's a really good option. I had him all of my preseason, 99% of my preseason, and I think I regret getting rid of him. I really liked the role that he was playing. It was a little bit of like a sweeper behind the ball, so I think he's going to get the ball. I think he had like 77 at halftime or something, and he only finished with 80 something, which was really disappointing. But I think he's going to have scores there. And he was quoted as saying something along the lines of he's got the best footy ahead of him. So I think buy. I'm a fan of that pick.
But once again, it all depends on if you have Rowell and Dangerfield, because obviously you want to trade them. I know Dangerfield may only get 1 or 2 weeks, but I'd say trade those 2 first.
Would you say Heppel's an option for Rao?
Possibly, yeah.
Depends, because I'm not going to do it, because if I trade Heppel or Rao to Heppel, then I've got 200k in my salary cap, and then I have to get rid of Dangerfield, who's the most expensive forward, and I'm going to end up with like 250, 300k in my salary cap, which is useless. So
not just next week for a big upgrade if you have to.
I could do, but I'm not really going to get anywhere with 300k unless I trade Zeeble or Clark, which I don't want to do. And then if I trade Kaczynski or Highmore or any of my other rookies, I'm not really going to have enough money to get to anyone that I actually want to keep. So
I'd say McGrath's a better option than Heppel. He's only 15k more than Rao.
Yeah.
and
Now
the Heppel's 180k cheaper.
Yeah.
we'll move on to Lockie Mcneil, the rookie for the Bulldogs.
I'd say hold. I have him on the bench.
I'm not so sure. I've seen a lot of people trading him out so far. I think there's been rumours that Finlay McRae might play because he's been tearing it up in the twos apparently. But I don't know. He didn't play in their practice match, so I'm not sure. But I think there's some other people that I'd have in before. If you don't have Goulden or James Jordan, I think they've got to come in.
Yeah.
Tom Mitchell.
Invest.
Hold or buy if you can get from Ralph to him, but I'm not sure how many people will be able to do that.
And
or even Dangerfield to him as well, and then you've got a DPP if you can.
Yeah.
And we've got Papley.
I'd stay away personally. Just because he's not so much of a SuperCoach scorer, in my opinion.
Hold if you've got him, but I don't know why you would have him. I wouldn't waste a trade on getting rid of him, but 428k, I don't know why you would have him in the first place.
He's an absolute star, but I don't think it equates to SuperCoach numbers.
Mm.
Yep. Now we'll move on to Tom Green for the GWS Giants.
Hold if you do or don't have him.
Definitely hold. What did he score on the weekend? Do you know?
He scored in the 50s and he's priced at
Maybe
high 300.
Yeah, 351k. I'd probably hold until the end of next week.
Again, if you don't have Danger around.
Especially again if you've got Real and Dangerfield, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And one last one. If you see Jamari Ugle-Hagan, will you be trading him in this round?
Not this round, because he's not going to be on the bubble, and some of the other players will be in a couple of weeks. So, I might at least wait for someone that I don't want to keep to gain like 20k, and then I'll trade him in for the same price that he already is. But I think he kicked multiple goals or something in his game. So
I believe.
Yeah, 5 goals.
Still a few weeks till prices inflate and decrease, so I'd say hold or wait.
Yep. That's all for that one.
I think he's got to play, to be honest. How tall is he, do you know?
He's 197 centimeters.
He is exactly what the Bulldogs need then, in my opinion. Because last year in particular, and then this year again, they haven't looked good bringing the ball inside 50. We know Aaron Norton is a star, but even he was recruited as a defender. He played defence all of his youth, all of his younger football, and then even most of the first year that he played. And then they've been playing Tim English in the forward line. But again, I think he's more of a defender that's going to turn into a ruckman later on down the line. But I don't really like him in the forward line. So they've got Ugle-Hagan, who people were saying could be the next Buddy Franklin. So I think he's got to be playing. It's a little bit ridiculous for me to not see him there. And we know they've also got Josh Bruce, who was better on the weekend, but still hasn't been great.
Yeah. What trades are you boys looking to complete this week?
So I think I'm getting rid of Dangerfield if he gets 3 weeks or more. Yeah. 3 weeks is my limit. So in that case, it'd be Dangerfield and Rail out. So I've got a few options to toss up. I could either go Dunkley for Dangerfield and then McGrath or Andy Brayshaw for Rail. Or I could go the alternative and go Dangerfield down to Jaden Stevenson, who I did rate, and I think he'll be North's best player. And then move Rail to Tom Mitchell. Or I could do both, but I think I prefer Tom Mitchell.
You think he'll be their best player this year?
I think, he got 33 disposals on the weekend. In the first game for the club, I think he's only going to get better for us.
You
And they
reckon
were
he's better
effective
than
disposals
Simpkin?
too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
You reckon he's better than Goldstein?
Yes.
Yeah. Close to McDonald too.
McDonald as well, but he didn't play this week. So
No, I see him winning our best and fairest at the end of the year. Yes, he's got some good players around him: Goldstein, Cunnington, Simpkin, McDonald. But I do think Stevenson is only going to get better from here.
I think LDU could win their best and fairest. It'd be good to see.
I feel like he'll be a Brownlow medalist in 4 or 5 years' time, but I don't have him up that high yet. And I feel like the flexibility of Stevenson, even when blokes like Cunnington and Jed Anderson and them are back in, he can just swing 40 and he can still kick 50 goals in a season. That's the flexibility he's got.
50 goals in a season.
Darcy's
got pretty high hopes for Jaden Stevenson.
Yeah, he's optimistic and he certainly elevated them this week. So I'm not even mad at him, to be honest. Now, I have a few...
50 goals as a mid-forward would be incredible.
Could. Never know.
Win the Brownlow.
Now, I have a few alternatives, so I want your guys' opinions on these. So, it's Dangerfield and Rowell that I'm trading out, and I've got 4 options. I can go Dusty and Sam Walsh. I can go Dusty and Andrew McGrath. I can go Tom Mitchell and Zach Butters. Or the one which I'm heavily considering is Tom Mitchell and Isaac Heaney.
All of them are good picks. I think it's going to depend a little bit on the structure that you have and how much you trust your rookies, or how many rookies you have. So if you've got midfield rookies that you're comfortable putting on the field, then maybe go with the Dusty option. But if not, and you want to bolster your midfield a little bit, then go with the Tom Mitchell option. But I think all of them are good options.
So these are the gaps: Rowell, Dangerfield.
I'd say you have to get Dusty. I feel like he's just 158 in his first round, and he's just going to be huge this year. You could make a debate for him to be the best player in the competition at the moment. But yeah, I like McGrath pick, but I'm not sure I like McGrath as a pick next to Caldwell right there.
Yeah.
So, how much would you have if you trade Dangerfield to Dusty? So down 50k there.
Well, if we try it out. So we have 573,000 with Dusty in and a new midfielder to select.
To be honest, I actually like the Tom Mitchell option. Given
I
that you've
think
got,
well, Dave, I do. I was heavily considering it. And if
given that you've got Debo and Danaher in the forward line already, I actually like the idea of having that extra premium in your midfield rather than playing Caldwell at F3. Although you would be getting in Walsh or someone, you said.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I don't mind the Tom Mitchell.
They're all good options. I think they're all good options.
All right, well, I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, I don't mind Walsh, and particularly when you have Cripps, I think Walsh would be a good pick. So even Dusty and Walsh, I rate pretty high.
Dave or Das? I'll let Zave screen share. What trades are you considering so far? Or after week one?
To be honest, my team is not looking good at all. So the first things that I'm going to need to do is put Rowe on the field for Ollie Henry. And I really wanted to trade Ollie Henry out as well because he didn't just perform badly for SuperCoach. He was horrible all game. And I honestly think I could have bought the same things to an AFL team as he did. And that was dropping a couple marks, diving on the ball and throwing it out of bounds. So hopefully he can bounce back because I'm going to need to keep him. And I think he could have a future, but he was not good at all on the weekend. So Rowell and Dangerfield are obviously going to be the ones that we've got to trade out. So I think I'm going to go with Dunkley because other than Martin and Dangerfield, I think he's the best forward in the game at the moment. And then I think I might have to get rid of, I'm going to have to get rid of Rowell. And it's interesting who I can get that to, because I think I'm in a similar position to you where I can get one of those like lower end premiums like Walsh or Brayshaw, but I can't get someone like Jack Mcneil, who I would really like to have. And I think I should have picked him in my starting team over Bontempelli, but I didn't, unfortunately. So I think with Kaczynski and Highmore on the field, I'm going to try and get another defender in here. And if I trade Rowell, I can get any defender that I don't have. So I think if Whitfield plays, I'm going to get him in, but I don't think he will. So I'm looking at Jordan Ridley or Jaden Short or one of those type of players to bring in and play at my F.
Looks to me like you're putting a
F4.
fair bit of faith into your rookies, not going to lie, but I don't mind it. I do the same, and it actually has proven to be beneficial with Goulden especially. But no, I don't mind it, Save.
Yeah, our team is extremely similar. I reckon we're going to go about five players different there. And it's lucky I didn't actually end up getting Doherty. I panic traded him in 5 minutes before the game and then traded him out just as I was about to bounce the ball. But yeah, we do have a very similar team. I think I just got over you in scoring based off row on field.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did hear that you were going to trade in Doherty, and I'm not going to lie, I would have been very angry if you did, because I shared the team. I was hyping up Doherty with his 9% ownership and his previous average of 118. So I hyped him up a lot, and you almost got him in. So I'm lucky you didn't. I think he's still going to be a very good option this year.
Just quietly, I've done the Tom Mitchell and Isaac Heaney trade behind the scenes. I have 50k left over for next week. Do you rate that or no?
Tom Mitchell, who did you say so?
Heaney.
Yeah, I rate that. I think that's probably the best option.
Das?
Yeah, I like it. I feel like Mitchell's going to be great this year. Had this bloke on the Instagram account DMing me for about 2 days trying to convince me to get Mitchell in. But yeah, I do rate Mitchell as a shout.
The only other thing I would consider is, you said you had 50k in the bank, did you?
Yep.
Is that enough to get from Mitchell to Jack Mcneil? Because I think both of them are great options, and I think they
I'm
might.
sure it opens up everyone but Neil and Steele.
I think Mcneil and Mitchell are both a good chance to finish 1 and 2 as in the league and in the midfield. So
I
think both
get
of them are great picks.
Mcneil. I can get Mcneil.
I can just go cheap with Mitchell. It gives you 50k upgrades next week.
Yeah, I don't think much matters, but it's up to you.
Just while
And
we're
what
on
about
the Instagram account, be sure to follow it. It's AFL Supercoach, no spaces, no capitals. Das and I are working behind the scenes, and we've done well. We've gained about 250 followers over a few days, and we'll continue to post.
300 now.
300
Yeah,
now.
we're posting more and more updates every day. We're going to start a few new series that'll help out all the followers with their Supercoach teams, and we have been getting help from Xavier as well.
Yeah, the boys have been grinding. They bought the new page. They've been posting every day, multiple times. So definitely follow it, and also check out the Sound and Siren Instagram. It's sts.podcast. So give that a follow as well.
Thanks for joining us, Das, once again, and Zave, another episode in the books. But is there anything else you'd like to mention before we conclude it tonight?
Nothing else from me.
Yeah, no, nothing else.
Good luck with your respective teams, Zave. I know the Blues have the Pies, and Das, I know the Kangas have the Suns, which are winnable games for both sides. The Saints have the D's on a Saturday night, so I think the games on paper are better than last week. Whether or not they're competitive, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, a good week of footy coming up, and hopefully dangerous and out for too long. Zave's having a laughing fit, and I think it's suitable to end the episode. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.